Okay, Sandy, come on. Come on, Sandy. Come on, Sandy. Let's go. Come on. Come on, Sandy. Come on. All right. All right. Sorry for being a little bit late, a few minutes late there. Lost track of time. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Yeah, Friday. All right, so go ahead and get comfortable, get settled in. A lot of familiar faces from last half hour. Cool, cool. So let's share. I already know what we did in our group, but let's share a little bit with Jeremy. What have you guys been working on in the drum master class or morning session? What do you guys been doing?
Today we mostly did footprints, and we played around with. We all did a recording of that, sending recordings to Ed, and he put them together, and then talked about that critically, and then we also worked on today a little bit on Take Five, the Brubeck and Joe Morello version. So we're getting our sort of like our fives on, and then we're gonna do a little bit of transcribing, and then recording for next week of that.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, 5/4 is a really a kind of a hard like tempo to
Kind of
or
tricky.
a hard time meter. For me, I would always have to think of either Mission Impossible or yeah, or Take Five, and then playing with Tony Ibarra when I first moved back to town to Santa Barbara from Los Angeles. Tony was doing quite a bit of flamenco work, and I started working with him, and he had these songs like in 13/8, and I'd be
Wow.
thinking, oh my god, like how the heck do you count in 13/8? And let's see, how did he do it? Let's see. So I think it was like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. Is that line up? Yeah. So it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, that's 13 beats. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. So I'd always have to think of it kind of like in 12/8 or a 6/8, then another half bar of 6/8, or you think of it in 6/8 and then a bar of 5/4. I guess that could work out. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. No, that is not, doesn't work. A bar of 7/4. Anyway, once I started getting away from thinking 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13, and think about where the subdivision was, like where the bass would be, which would be 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1. Then it started to become a little bit easier to just feel a bump, 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 bump. But yeah, think that's hard. That's hard. I'm sometimes my wife will watch my wife is Japanese, so sometimes she watches some Japanese kind of like game shows, and I think they were trying they're testing the audience or the guests, like what the time meter was of Mission Impossible, I think, and so they would go like bump 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 1 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of funny. Anyway, all right. Well, very cool. Cade, what have you been up to? How's the string class or the guitar class going?
I'm in the same one with Ed, so
Oh, okay.
very similar for me. Just the bass end of it. We worked on footprints and then take 5.
Oh, cool. All right. Right on. So you don't have you don't study with Tony. It's a group. Ed does bass and drums.
Yeah, he does the like a virtual bass on his piano.
Oh, I got you.
Show me. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, very cool. And then in our horns and strings and vocals, we practice our bebop scales and some blues funk scales today. So that's what we did today. Well, cool. Well, I see we're a little bit short of some folks, but that's okay. We're missing a handful of people. It's not a 3-day weekend, is it? Maybe there's something going on we don't know about. Anyway, oh yes, Fran. Oh, Fran, can you talk into your pickup?
This is unnatural. Okay.
I know.
In college, I took a class in Indian music, and Indian music has all these different rhythms, and the whole audience is expected to stay with it. And these are like 17 beats, and the audience sort of does this thing. And the whole audience will beat through the whole very long tune with them. And then at the end, when they all end, on the upbeat together, it's just such a high.
Wow. That must be
a whole different expectation for the audience to really be right there.
It sounds like a really hip audience too. That they they know all the rhythms and stuff. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. That's very cool. What particular? Oh, you say it was in Indian. So is there different types of like in Africa they have like different like West Africa is really known for their complicated rhythm. Is there a particular part of India that's known for their rhythmic things?
Yeah, I don't know the answer. This was world music that I took a long time ago, but it really pointed out the difference between sort of, when Ravi Shankar was popular, he would get, that's way before everybody's time here, but he would get on the stage and, half the audience would be totally high on pot, and he would say, you can't participate. He didn't want everybody to be zoned out. He wanted them to be right with him.
Right. Wow. Well, that's really cool. That's interesting. Yeah. Shankar, he's a very famous sitar player. Very, and he's actually the father of a vocalist that most of us know is Norah Jones.
Yes.
Norah Jones is what was her dad. He passed
fabulous.
away.
Yeah.
And she's great. She's great. Such a great voice, but talent in the gene pool there. That's very, very cool. Yeah, and that's a good message too to a lot of the other musicians too. Yeah, there's a certain point of inhibition that is created when you do some sort of mind altering drugs or even alcohol. There's a little bit of inhibition that helps people overcome stage fright or maybe let go or think deeper, but at the same time you are more disconnected to the other instruments, the other musicians and stuff. You get lost in your own world. So that's some good advice to adhere to, and especially they make the audience responsible for that too as well. You guys got to be hip to what we're doing here. Well, that's good. That's pretty cool. Well, all right. So yeah, next week we're going to be.
Andrew, I'm just coming in here. Are you saying we should be doing drugs or not doing drugs?
Hey,
what's the lesson?
This is being recorded here. Hey, watch out here. No. Actually, it's actually good. They were saying not to. She was talking about a story about Ravi Shankar, he was telling the audience not to be so high on pot, so because they'd be disconnected. They wouldn't be able to grasp all the things. Whereas sometimes your inhibitions can go away. I'm a big fan of Hot Ones, which is a kind of a hot chicken wing YouTube thing where they have 10 different sauces, and each chicken wing has a different heat. You start with 1 going up to 10. And at the same time, it's an interview show. And so the interviewer is asking the guest all the different questions, and they start going through all these different heat moments, and start getting really hot. And it's very interesting in how they can be sometimes very proper, a little bit pent up, and then as you're getting hotter and hotter down towards the end of the show, you see that they're going wild, or they're being really short, or they're just like very, very much more looser. So yes, inhibition, and that's just getting high on endorphins, I guess, when you get heat, not kind of a natural high. So that's different. So you can eat a lot of hot, spicy things. I wonder if that's okay. Eat a couple of habaneros before you play Giant Steps. Okay, so yeah, for I figured today, we would just kind of go around and play through the tunes a bit. Here, I'm going to adjust my fan so it's not just blowing in the microphone there. All right. So does anybody have any questions on any of the songs, scales, problems, any sort of thing first off the bat, or is there anything that we want to talk about either for Blue Bossa or Footprints? Any questions on that? Things that they've been coming into? Any issues? Okay, well, that's cool. So I guess what we'll do, we'll start out with 4, since that's the new one, and we'll go around the class, and we'll have everybody take a ride, and then we'll do the same thing for Footprints, and then the same thing for Blue Bossa. And next week, we will be getting some new songs to do. And what I have noticed that I'm going to be picking songs. I know a lot of all the other combos like to use the Real Book 6th edition, and I think that's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of the new Real Book. I just like the way it's a little bit more, how would you say it? A little bit more exact. I've always been a fan of it, and I like a lot of the songs in there. So we're going to be exploring through some more songs through the new Real Book. But anyway, okay, first let's start out with 4. All right. So I hope some of us practice through the practice sheet. Hopefully doing the arpeggios and helped. It does for me. It really does. And the object of key centers as well. Hopefully that helped as well. So go ahead and get your iReal Pro connected to your system or speaker, or however you guys have it. And we'll get started with 4 in just a moment here. Okay. All right. Do we have anybody who's all set and ready to go? Anybody all set? I see people scrambling. Oh, who was that?
Cade.
Cade. Oh, there you go. Thanks.
I'll go.
I wasn't looking at you when you spoke, so I was like, "Whoa, who is that?" Yeah, okay, Kate. So let's either hear you with. Are you going to use iReal Pro or are you going to use a metronome?
I have iReal Pro playing out of my speakers. I'll just test the levels first. See if everything's
great.
good.
Let's test it.
Is that good? Is my bass?
That sounds
audible?
good. That's pretty fast. That's a big difference from last week, buddy.
Oh, that was the tempo just loaded in at. Should I slow it down, you think?
Oh, whatever is comfortable for you.
Okay, I'll try.
And yeah, the when I send out the playlists and stuff, that's just, I think on most of these I put the tempo of the song. Like for example, I think it was recorded at 178, and that's why I just put in. So you can definitely change that, and please change that, to practice it slow and practice it fast and all that. Okay, put it wherever is comfortable for you. And so you're going to play some changes, and then like we're doing the head, and then are you going to do a solo after that?
I tried to practice a solo, and I couldn't really. I don't know. It wasn't coming to me really, because I spent most of my time just practicing the walking bass line.
Okay.
So is it cool if I don't solo?
That I'll have to ask the panel of judges, but no, of course that's okay. And then also, feel free to tackle the melody too.
Okay.
I've played with some bass players too, and then like sometimes, if I wasn't familiar with one of the songs, you'd have a moment. I know I had this one cocky bass player. He was, "This is the melody, buddy," and it's like, "Oh, my bad." The bass player knows the melody more than I do. Or I've run into drummers where the drummers have perfect pitch. I say, "Hey man, you're a little bit sharp," and I was like, "What?" Or the drummer will be shouting out chord changes. So yeah, so feel free to do that. And also, since you have electric bass, and how many strings are in that? 6. So you have the range, so you can go up and play some if you care to. I think Patitucci did that quite a bit. So anyway, enough chit chat. Okay, go ahead and go for it, or else we won't have enough time. All right, go ahead and give it a go.
I messed up a lot there. You want me to do it one more time?
No. I thought you did you did a really good job. But it does bring me to one thing too, like, and that's trying to get back on the horse when you kind of fall off, and a lot of it is kind of like covering yourself up. Like, I kind of meant to do that, right? And just remember, like, if you're following a pattern that you've memorized, sometimes it's hard to get back on the chord because you don't really know where the pattern is. But if you're reading the chord changes, or the chord changes, and you're changing your pattern every time, then it's a little bit easier because you know what you're really doing. It's a little bit different every single time, just like water going down a path of least resistance. Sometimes it'll go a little here or something, and that's the same thing. So so when you're memorizing, one way about doing it, try to differentiate yourself from and try to take different ways of getting to one chord to the next chord, and that way it will be a little bit easier to get back on the horse if you do slip up. A lot of times, as bass players, I'm not a bass player. Bass players, have to have their music on two music stands, or they have to do a flip. They have to turn the page, and sometimes, they'll pedal a note. They'll find a note and they'll just kind of pedal until they get back to the other note. So, for example, I know there's not an open E flat, but there's a way they made to play E flat or something like that during the open space. One thing I really like, I mean, this is a huge progress from last week, man. So thank you for practicing this. When you get to the F sharp minor B7, I might make a couple of different note choices, a little bit different there.
Okay.
And if you listen to like a lot of early bass players, they don't always chromaticize into the chord. Sometimes they'll just play the same note twice. So for example, you're on the E flat major over G. You can just play two F sharps and then two Bs. I'm not sure what you were doing, but I really couldn't. I heard the F sharp, and then you're doing something, and I didn't really hear the B.
Do you want me to play what I did for
Sure.
that part? I did F sharp, B flat, and then D flat into B.
Okay. So that's what, yeah, you'd want to make sure you hit that B on beat 3, whichever, if you're going, or, you want to be able to hit. So you really are kind of limited on the choices there. You could do octaves too, or chromatically, or, kind of different ways, but you're kind of limited. But one thing you do want to do, unlike us bebop horn players, where we'll play off the beat sometimes, you want to make sure that you land on the chord change, on that B7. Or if you're just going to play F sharp minor, so you could go, that's another way. So I was going G minor, F sharp, that's another way of doing it. But great job.
I had one more question.
Yeah.
In the B and C section, when it has the E flat over G,
yeah,
I was off the recording for a lot of what I was playing, and it sounded like they were playing E flat. I thought you would want to play G as a bass player in that situation. Is that not always correct, or would you?
No. That's a good thing that you found out. That a lot of times, if he was playing, he was landing on an E flat right there. So it'd be, yeah. So you can definitely do that as well. Was he doing that on just the melody or during solos as well?
Honestly, I mostly just listened to the solos, the piano solo. I could hear the bass the most.
But the bass player was consistently playing an E flat instead of a G there.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Okay. No, you're probably correct. So that's interesting. That's why we do the transcriptions too, to find out what these other choices are. And then you ask yourself, why, and the reason probably is, because it's related, and it does still sound good. It sounds good. In fact, the G minor is just a substitution for that E flat major, because it's the top end of it. That's a G minor, and then put an E flat in the bass, and it turns an E flat major. So it's a substitution. It's off of by a third. So good job, nice job, man. Sounds good. All right, who would like to go next? Who's ready then? Who's ready? I see Grant.
I'll give it a rip.
Yeah, I could tell by your movement you're ready. You're moving around. Can you hear that fan in the background? Is that pretty noisy for me? No? Okay, good.
Okay, I'm going to test the levels.
All righty. Let's hear a little bone in that. So play a couple of notes. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, restart. Thanks, buddy.
You can hear the iReal Pro?
Yeah, I can hear everything. That was a good setup.
Okay.
Okay. Or good mix. All right. Yeah, Grant.
Yeah, I had some page falling. Yeah, some page fell off the stand, and I had to go pick it up.
You had some what problems?
I had some pages falling off the stand.
Oh, pages. So yeah, good job. One thing I would recommend is slowing down the melody a little bit more, and so you can get the rhythms 100%. Because some of the rhythms on the melody, you're just a bit off. Like maybe that's a little bit off, and that's okay. You know, there's a lot of subdivision, and are you counting during the rests?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's one thing that I would suggest too. And a lot of times, you know, I'll kind of imagine like what a drummer would be doing. Ba-do-da, va-do-da, 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 va-da-do, do, 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 va-do-da, ba-do-da, ba-do-da, ba-da-da, ba-do-do, do, ba-do, 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 do, va-do, va-da. You know, just making sure you're always counting during the rests so that you're starting, you know, right on the entrances. You didn't get like way off or anything, but it was just a couple things were just a little bit off. And this, like the letter A and letter B, ba-do-da, 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 that's a really hard thing not to rush. Yeah. So remember that concept, you know, of trying to put the metronome on 2 and 4.
Rushed the early beginning, then I adjusted.
Yes, yeah, it did adjust. So that, but having the metronome on 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ba-do-da, 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 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, va-do-da. And then they start to sound like pickup notes to beats 2 and 4. instead of like coming on the end of one and two and one and two and you're thinking and two and two and two and it kind of changes. But just try slowing it down just a little bit just to hone in the melody just right. Good job on the solo. Good job on the solo. And for everybody too, like what I do with a lot of my students too is practice singing a solo, and then, or you can trade by practice singing 8 bars and then play 8 bars, sing 8 bars and play 8 bars, or practice singing a whole chorus and then play a chorus, and you will start to like get out of the mechanics or the math of improvisation, and you will be kind of opening up more of the other half of your brain that is a little more melodic and stuff. But it's just pretty good job, Grant. So keep up the good work. Okay, let's see who wants to go next. Dave. All right.
I have a quick question though.
Yes, sir.
So just play through the lead sheet once and then once again with the solo?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay,
if you want to take 2 solos, that's fine too as well.
Okay, so would it be fine if I just did two repeats? One for the lead and one for the solo?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Then I'll do a quick sound check before
Sounds
start.
good. Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty good. Is that a little bit too fast? You want to keep it at that speed? You can slow it down.
That was just the one that it loaded up into.
Yeah, why don't you feel what's comfortable? Like sing the melody for me really quick. I'm not testing you on the pitches.
Ba-doo-da, 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 ba-doo-da.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But let's make it a little bit slower. Like. Ba-doo-da, 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 ba-doo-da. Let's see. Let's try it at
150 good?
I think that's a little fast. Let's see.
I can always do 120.
Yeah, let's try 120. Let's try 120.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Pretty good. Okay.
And then we can subdivide it. Ba-doo-da, 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 ba-doo-da. All right, go for it. All right, Dave. Good job, buddy. Nice job. Oh, he's going to take another time. Okay.
No, that was my mistake.
No, a great job on the melody, man, and you had a really nice, good sense of swing. And I think the bebop scale exercise that will help you even more. But yeah, when you're going do va da do va ba dum blah ba boo da vadu vadu, I could really hear you swinging heavy, and it was a good swing feel. So I really liked your eighth notes, and all of us, it's good for us to slow it down too. I know they're flying, on the Miles Davis version, but we put it where, I'm always thinking of more of accuracy than speed, more accuracy than speed. And then on your solo, I don't feel you're 100%. What's that?
Those changes are really hard for me.
So one thing that you just want to grasp on, is a lot of like thirds. Hunt down where the thirds are. So like the first chord is like C major, and that one's pretty. That should be a pretty approachable chord. And what's the third of C major?
Would be B.
E. Great.
E. I'm sorry.
Oh, E as in Edward.
E. Yeah.
And then what's the third of C minor?
E flat.
E flat. Great. What's the third of F?
A.
A. Great. What's the third of D minor?
F.
Good. What's the third of F minor?
Would it be G sharp?
Yep. G sharp, otherwise known as A flat. And what's the third of B flat 7?
D flat.
No.
No, wait. D sharp?
No. B flat 7. What's the third of B flat 7?
E. It'd be E flat.
D. Just D.
Oh, just D?
Just D. D is the third of B flat. So the only thing that you're flatting is the 7. That's what you're flatting. But the third is so what a good way about going about in searching for your target tones is to go through the chord changes and just tackle the third of every song, every song. Tackle the third of every chord change. Thank you. I'm doing two things at a time. So like at the top, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's and then you have and then you can kind of hear the chord changes go, right? You can just hear the tune with me just playing the thirds. So hunt and try to land on the thirds of every chord. Find out what they are, know what they are. Try to land on the third of every chord. Then you try to land on the fifth of every chord.
Wait, so for the iReal Pro, I have it transposed to E flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did that on mine too. So your first chord is C major, right?
Yeah, if I put it back to the transposition of C, it would be C major. If it was an E flat, it would be E flat major 7.
Yeah. Oh, so that's where we're having the hiccup part then. So concert key is E flat major 7, first chord. That's the concert key. Mm-hmm. And then when it transposes to your key, for you, it should be C major. So when the piano, and that's why when the piano plays, when you play your C major scale on the Barry, they call it an E flat Barry sax because the piano has to play an an E flat major scale to play the same scale you are. So when your first note on the chord changes for you is C major.
And that's when I do the transposition of E flat on the iReal Pro.
Yes, it should transpose it to C major for you. Is that what it does?
No, it transposes it to E flat major 7.
Okay, so try going. That's really weird. So try going back.
Yeah, if I go to C, then it's C major 7.
Okay,
and then it's C7, F7, and D minor 7.
Hang out after class, and I think I know what's going on. I think maybe you might have toggled the wrong key. If you're looking in the bottom right-hand corner under key, not on the transposition, but just on your thing, what does it say as far as key?
Bottom right corner.
Yeah.
Well, here, let me just see if I can put this on the camera. If it says anything. I don't know if you can read that.
Yeah, so on the bottom, you have the bottom right-hand corner, not the very bottom, but right above by the treble clef, it's toggled at C. You see that?
Yeah,
it says
yeah,
C.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So you're making the song in the key of C now. So the song concert key, that's the concert key it's referring to. So turn that to E flat. Press your finger on that and turn that so it sounds E flat. You got on E flat?
Yeah, and then it just starts off with the E flat major
Good.
7.
Now go back to the gear setting. Go to the gear setting, and then put your transposition to E flat instruments.
Oh, it was set to C by default. Okay.
And now you're cooking.
Now it's C major. So that's why I was having a lot of trouble with the transposition or the chord changes.
Now everything's going to sound a little bit better now. Why don't you try it one more time and try it like that?
Do you want me to run it just down through like the solo?
Just the solo.
Okay.
Oh, that must have been so frustrating, man.
I was like, what are these chord changes? I was struggling with them.
I feel so bad, man. I'm so sorry we didn't find that sooner. Okay, go ahead and take a solo. Just do one chorus. Nice job, Dave. Night and day, and that's okay, man. Like, I've made a transposition mistake like that even myself. You know, like I remember doing it in Monday Madness, and I felt like such an ass. You know, I was like, I couldn't believe it was something so simple as that. So great job.
That was so much easier to try to play.
Yeah, I feel so bad for you, man. Everything's going to be so much easier now. Okay. Good job, dude.
I had like D flat, I think it was D flat minor 7 and stuff
like
that. I was getting crazy chords.
Everything's going to sound so much better now. Okay, let's see. Let's try somebody else. Fran, you raised your hand? Well, go ahead. Whoever's ready, Fran or Mike or Jeremy or Evelina.
I can go if you want.
Okay, all right, Fran.
I'm going to play a little bit and see what it sounds like. Is that loud?
Play a little violin. Yeah, so turn down the iReal Pro or turn yourself up. But yeah, probably do both. turn down the iReal Pro, turn it down a little bit, and then turn your violin up. Kind of split the difference on that.
Okay. How about this?
All right, let's try it. Much better. That's much better. All right, let's go for it. All right.
Okay, maybe I'll play like, maybe I could play just the A part, the melody, and then improvise the second half.
That's okay. Just go do melody the whole time, and then take one time melody and one time solo. Yeah, go for it.
Technical details,
That's
so
okay.
I can't quite hear myself. I can't hear the iReal Pro very well. So
Yeah, you can turn that up a bit.
okay. All right, let's try this.
Yeah, great job, Fran. Great job. Um, nice solo. You played some really nice, tasty stuff. The second half of your solo, I really liked what you were doing. Like there was something you're on the major 7, and then you did it again, and then you kind of changed it up on the E flat minor, and that was really cool. And that's taking a rhythmic motif and a melodic motif, and then repeating it. So another option, which you did. On the F minor, you could have done the same thing, up there, too, just to keep going on to it. And that goes with the philosophy of don't keep throwing away your ideas. Listen to what you're playing and kind of try to react to something that you did, try to answer it, kind of like a conversation with yourself. And a lot of us, it's almost like we're trying not to drown, and so we're just grabbing and playing on different lines. And then if we listen and take a moment, something that we just played, try answering what you just played. And then also the last 4 bars are really hard. The last 4 bars are really hard for anybody, and you played a really nice, some really nice stuff over those descending. You played a really nice thing there. So really, really, really cool. One thing I just would suggest on the melody is trying to make the ends a little bit shorter. Vadu bop instead of long. Vadu va. Trying to make those a little bit shorter, and that will help as well, because sometimes you're playing the note and then the chord changes and you're still playing that note, and then things start to clash. I used to play with this one singer, and he had the reverb on, or the chorus, the echo so much that you still hear his reverb when the chords would change, and then he would complain to the synthesized player that the synth player is playing out of tune. No, it's your delay is echoing so much that when the chord change, it starts to clash. So that's one thing, to make sure that you get off some of the notes, not all of them, but try making them a bit shorter. But it sounds really good. Keep up the good work, Fran. That sounds good. Okay, all right. Who would like to go next? Jeremy. I see Jeremy's ready over there. Jeremy. So what are you gonna do for us, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll run through 4, right? 2 times?
Sounds good. Are you playing along with the album or playing along with iReal Pro?
It's going to be iReal Pro, and I have the Bluetooth speaker here, so hopefully you can hear it.
Okay, sounds good.
Give it a shot. Let me start that again.
Nice job, Jeremy. Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Your time sounds really good. You're not rushing the figures, and it sounds comfortable for you. Would you say that too?
Getting there. Still, my limbs, like, for some reason, my left foot just wanted to kind of tell me it didn't want to work there. Like, I don't know if it's like trying to pull back is I'm less used to that than forcing into it,
Uh-huh.
Pulling back gets kind of, I mean, it's all new, so.
Well, it sounds good. It sounds good, and nice little chatter on the snare drum, and I really want to hear you interact with the soloist. So have you, even though if you haven't transcribed stuff from this, have you played along with the record?
I have not played along to 4 yet.
Oh man, come on! You got to do that, and just crank it up, so you can hear it. You don't have to play with the drummer is playing, but playing around the soloists, and that's a new thing that that we can't do right now. So that's the closest thing to playing with somebody is, not transcribing. I mean, transcribing the time, that's one thing too, but then going ahead and just playing over what the drummer's playing and reacting to the soloists on the recording. How because you can hear them and pretend you might even know the solos by heart, but just reacting on what you would do to.
Yeah, I've listened to them, but I haven't played along to them.
Okay. So that's your it's your mission now to play along with the soloists on all the 3 songs that we're doing on Blue Bossa, this song, and Footprints as well. Okay.
Yeah.
But it sounds good. It sounds good. You have a good. I mean, I can't wait for you and Cade to play together. And I can't wait for that. It'd be really cool. And so keep doing. But that's what the new thing. You need to play along with the record and interact with the soloists. Even though they can't hear you, you can hear them.
For sure, we'll do.
Okay, keep it up, buddy. All right. Mike. Mike or Evelina? Mike or Evelina? I see Mike now. Mike's at the beach. Mike's at the beach. How's the weather out there?
I am at the beach, but I have my guitar with me, so.
Guitar and surf. Let's hear some Dick Dale. All right.
All right. I'm still trying to figure out how to solo through this part, so I'm not trying to do anything.
Do it slow, and like I said, practice your arpeggios, practice the scales, the modes, key centers. If you think about where the key centers are, and then also, like look for the thirds. That test I was telling Dave. Like Hunt, play the third of every chord, play the 7th of every chord. That's hard for your mind to think where the 7th is that quickly, But if you do it enough, and you could become familiar with the song, you'll memorize it. You'll memorize the third of the first chord is D. So anyway, go for it.
Yeah. I there's so many chords in this song.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that, and that's what singers want. Singers want to. We don't have any singers in this combo, but singers want to hear different chords. They get tired of us playing, Equinox all the time, with just one key center, all the time. So they want to hear different chords, and this one does it. This one moves pretty fast, and there's lots of different key centers. So, okay, just do the best you can.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do a little testy poo there. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Want to do a quick little tuning on your guitar? Just make sure, are you in tune, do you think?
Okay, should be good to go.
Okay, go for it, Mike.
All right. Okay.
All right. Nice job, Mike.
Trying to figure this stuff out.
No, man. Great job on the melody, man. You came a long way since last week, man. That sounded really good. And that's at it's a good tempo, and you're making it swing. Like sometimes we'll have fast tempo songs played slow, and it sounds laborious. But you had a nice swing to it, and it really sounded like, oh, this is the tempo that the song is supposed to be at. And it made it feel good. So great job. And I know it's not easy, trying to figure out all the different footsteps, for your fingers, but I thought you did a great job. So try, maybe like the second course going up an octave, so experiment that too with maybe playing so if you're playing the lead, let's say if there was two guitar players, or you're playing guitar with the tenor sax or a trumpet, and it was your turn to be the lead, you try practicing it playing up an octave.
Yeah.
In your solo, man, your solo is coming along. I know you said that you're struggling, but it sounded really, really good. One thing I can suggest is just play the first 5 notes of every chord as you're going through the solo. So like on the first chord, you have just try doing that. Do that really slow. Okay. And then because you can do that in different parts of the neck, and try experimenting on that. And then when you start taking your solo, you're just so it's trying to connect all those different 5-note the patterns, and eventually it's going to start to come, and then you're going to start messing around with the sevens up there, and they're going to connect. But yes, I think it's a good song for you to stretch your mind and to get yourself to punch through these walls. So keep doing it, man. It's sounding better and better. Very good job.
Okay, thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, man. All right, Evelina.
Okay.
Evelina time.
Oh no. Okay, so I'm having a little trouble with the chord changes, but I will try my best.
Yeah, do the best you can. It's just like dancing, sometimes dancing comes easier for some people. Or snowboarding. Yeah. Okay. I was so frustrated. My wife could snowboard so much better than I could right off the bat.
Is that good? Did you hear
that? Try playing a little bit of piano. Try that again, and let's hear a little piano, because want to see how the mix is.
Okay.
Good. That sounds good. Is that okay? That you're comfortable with that tempo? It's a little fast, but if you want to go for it, that's okay. Whatever's comfortable to you, and that might help with getting the chords a little bit faster.
Yeah. Okay. I slowed it down a little bit.
It's kind of like driving your car really fast through a neighborhood or through a neighborhood that you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, and we shouldn't drive too fast during neighborhoods, only in the freeway. But anyway, you know what I mean. All right, go ahead. Yeah. Really nice, Evelina.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job. And so when you're on every chord, what comes into your mind when you're experiencing one chord at a time?
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
I start freaking out.
You start freaking out?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm used to like reading it. If it's like right in front of me, I'm used to reading it. I can read it. I don't have any problem with that. But if I have, then I have to start like thinking about it. If it's just written out, then my brain just starts like panicking.
Okay. And then we know too that, like, we heard that Bach, he used to improvise, right? You heard that
Yes.
story? And using, like the harmonic minor scale, you can kind of see like how, he was using different voice leading, going to 5/7 to 1, 5/7 to 1 chords and stuff. And
Right.
so it's done, in classical music too. And I guess for how I look at it two different ways, so when I'm looking at the piano, I'm visualizing E flat major scale throughout the whole piano. They're kind of like lighting up to me, so like a light up keyboard, so like all the thirds are kind of lit up all together, and then the scale too, almost kind of like, let's say E flat is kind of like a brown sort of color, so then when it gets to E flat minor, maybe it's something like a different sort of color, but then now I know the big difference between E flat major and E flat minor is a third and 7, so now I know target tones, I kind of play that. So it's kind of very similar to what I told to Mike. Try playing maybe the first 5 notes of every scale. Try doing that. Do it really slow. Transpose just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of all the scales that go by, and things are going to start to be a little bit more familiar. Things will start to be more familiar, and then other things like what I was telling. Just look. The bass. Just follow the bass, and then hun out every third for every chord. Then hun out every fifth of every chord, and then hunt out every 7th. and eventually it'll become easier and easier. But you have to spend time with it. You just have to spend a little bit more time, and then try singing. Really try singing. Even if you're like me, I'm a terrible singer. I'll just at least try to get the rhythms. I try to get rhythms that won't come to my mind. And there's lots of juicy, chords going by. It's a really cool harmony structure. So just try keeping up with those things, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, it's scary. It's scary, and you're doing a really good job. You're doing a really good job. So just try to isolate things. That's what if things are too complicated for everything, if things are too complicated, isolate and just try to practice a little bit. So in this case, maybe just the first 5 notes of every chord. Then you expand it to the second 5 notes. Okay. Right. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So who did we start with? Was it Grant? Oh, it was Cade. Did we start with you, Cade?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, so let's do some footprints. Let's do some footprints. Okay. And let's do some footprints here. I know we probably won't get to Blue Bossa, but maybe we'll have we'll have you do footprints, and then what would you rather do, footprints or Blue Bossa?
I'm more prepared for footprints.
Okay, let's hear you do footprints.
Okay, I think the version that I'm playing might be a little bit different than what's on here.
That's okay.
I haven't been playing with Ivory Pro. I've been playing. Okay, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, the volume should be the same.
Okay.
Sorry, that's awkward to play. I'm sorry. You mind coming back to me? I'll sort this out because I've been playing with a different version.
Yeah, I think. You're on dun 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 dun. I think it's a little slower. Okay.
Yeah, sort it out.
All right. Let's see. Smooth. Who was after Cade? Was it Grant? All right, Grant. Let's have you play a song of your choice, either Blue Bossa or Footprints. And you can scratch the melody for now. Let's just go straight to the solos, unless it helps you get into the mood. And everybody else, go ahead and get your dial set and be ready to jump in at a moment's notice.
I'll do an audio test. Is levels coming in?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it should be the same as last time, so that should be fine. All right. Nice job. Very cool. one thing I just would want to suggest, and this because it's a modal song, it'd be just getting more familiar with the arpeggio. So I notice when I'm thinking of this song, just so I'm not trapped in between the first 5 notes. When I like to think of these modal songs more as like arpeggios. So the first chord is C minor 11. And so what I kind of visualize is an E flat major arpeggio. Can you play an E flat major arpeggio? Let's try doing that E flat major arpeggio. Yeah. Do it again. Yeah. Now we're going to do an A flat major arpeggio. And now back to an E flat major arpeggio. Right on. So those are the juicy notes, man. Those are the new notes to play on.
Like strictly stay in the arpeggio, I can do that.
Yeah, just to help color the chord, So when you're playing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just for those parts, and it'll help you maybe center in on some of those neat chord tones in there.
Yeah.
All right, so try that. That'll be cool. All right, great job. Okay, and let's see who is next. Was it Dave? Who was after Grant? Was it Dave? All right, Dave, what song we want to do? Blue Bossa or All the Things You Are? No, I'm saying Blue Bossa or Footprints.
I'm probably gonna do Footprints.
Footprints. All right, it's a footprint type of day.
So how many times 3 do you want me to play?
You can do 2. You can do 2. Okay. And so for your I'm gonna switch it. Let's make sure we got it. It should be working now. So for it should show up as the first chord being A minor in your iReal Pro, right? You didn't touch anything, right?
It's C minor 11. For me, it's C minor 11.
Let's see your iReal B again. Let's see it. We're on the treble. Yeah, I'll go up a little bit. So what does it say down there by the treble clef?
E flat minor.
It says E flat minor. Okay, so we want to change that to C minor.
Okay, so then now I have A minor 11.
Good. So on all these songs, you might have to switch it. Make sure that it's in the concert key. And how to do that, just to prove yourself, is just to look at go in the Google Drive and look at the concert lead sheets and make sure it's in the same key. You might have to change it for the other one as well. Okay, so now it's A minor 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, fantastic. Go ahead and go.
Oh.
It's okay. Wait for it. Yeah, man. Great job, buddy. Man, you sound like such a more polished improviser now that we fixed that little thing. So I think how it was that you thought changing your transposition was down at the bottom, but that's actually changing the global key of the song. So now that we fixed that, man, that sounds really cool. Hey, write down this name here. Okay, there's an album and it's called Smile and Nod. Smile and Nod. Write this down if you can somewhere. I don't see you moving, but maybe you're typing. So Smile and Nod. And that's the name of the album, and the players are Alias Smith and Lane. Alias Smith and Lane. Smith and Lane. And then the album is Smile and Nod. And it's a trombonist and a bari saxophone player. And the bari sax player, he sounds great. Yeah, he's got some great licks, some great stuff, and a great sound. So I want you to do kind of a report for me. Check out that album. You can look it up on YouTube. You don't have to purchase it. Alias Smith and Lane, Smile and Nod. And let me know what you think, okay? Did you write it down? I didn't see you moving. You wrote it down in your mind. All right. Okay, cool. All right. Who wants to go next? Who wants to go next?
I typed it in.
Oh, you typed it. You typed it with your feet, I guess. You're pretty fast. Okay. Who would like to go next? Fran, Mike, Jeremy, Evelina? I see somebody moving. Somebody's moving.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, Mike. What song would you like to do?
Oh, I'll do Footprints.
Footprints.
Let's see here. Slow it down a little bit. See if I can do this.
Great job, Mike. And that sounded really comfortable for you.
Yeah, I working on my my Dorian, so I was that I could focus obviously on that a little bit more. Still, the turnaround is still tricky for me, but
it's tricky for a lot of people. You know, but just to comment on the solo, it sounded really good. I could hear you playing your arpeggios. I could hear you going up and down, you know, the two Dorian keys. And that's great, man. It sounds a lot more comfortable. And so now that you're at that stage, what I want for you to do is just to keep, you know, using some more rhythmic variety, you know, and exploring the rhythmic part of what you can do on this song. And then for the last 4 bars, just targeting all the roots, then targeting the third, and then targeting the fifth, you know, and then kind of putting the seventh too. I guess you would want to do that. You know, and kind of putting all those together, and then holding on to like one note and just trying to explore how that's going to work. You know, that's what I would do, but that's hard. It's a hard turnaround. It's a hard turnaround. But the your solo though on the other part sounded really good. It sounds like you feel confident with those Dorian, the Dorian modes there, man. So great job, buddy.
More confident.
Yes, more confident. Right on. And I think we have.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you, man. And let's see, we have some time for another person, or possibly two, maybe just one person. Who would like to? Cade, did you raise your hand, buddy? All right, Cade.
I just switched to blue bossa.
Oh, blue bossa, the bluest of all bosses. Yes.
All right. And I will start in 1 second. There we go.
Nice job, buddy. Nice job. I like that little, you did like a little fill, a little lick going from the C minor chord to the E flat minor chord, you know, and that was really cool. And not that you would do it every single time, like a good exercise would be to do that every single time to the next chord. You know, you're never ever going to do it like you do it every now and then, but you'll have the capability of didn't didn't. So we'll see. You know, trying to chromaticize into that next chord. so do it kind of as just a practice on how to chromatically resolve to the next, or melodically how you would resolve to the next tone. And what I want you and Evelina and Jeremy, I want you both of you to play along with the tracks and play along with the soloists and try to, hone in, try to, bass players too will change up things, by trying pedal points during modes of excitement or alternative types of harmony. Most of all, it would be kind of pedal points, like for the bass player. Where would you kind of pedal? Where could you pedal in this song or the other song, or try using tritone substitutions, so like let's say you're on I'll start at the beginning. Kind of using tritone substitution. So when you're going to D half diminished, you instead of going to G, you're going to tritone away from G, which is just one note chromatically down, and then you hit C. So that's one thing to try to do. Listen to the bass player if they ever do that, but it's just choices, that you can do. And a lot of times in a lot of minor songs like this one, a lot of times the band will tag the ending. It's part of my pitch. And instead of landing for the very last time on C minor, they'll land on the 4 chord, which is F. So, a lot of times, a lot of folks like to and on a minor tune, they'll like to land on the 4 chord. So for you, that'd be an F chord. So different things to kind of practice. And it doesn't matter, like if the piano player was still voicing a C minor 6, and then you just switch down to the F, it still works. Whether you're on a C or if you land on the F. So that kind of works. Okay, well, look at the time. It's time. It's time for us to go have lunch and head for whatever we're heading for. So next week there'll be some new songs in the Google Drive, and we'll I think we did a really good job exploring the last 3 weeks on these songs. And for those of you like rhythm section players, go ahead and play along with some of the albums, learn the melody, bass players, learn the melody. And I hope you guys had fun with some of these tunes. Okay, so we have some new material next week. Yay, new stuff. And I'll try to get that in as soon as possible, and so we can be a little bit prepared. But I'll walk you guys through the new songs anyway. So, okay. All right. So if any of those people who have questions or anything like that, please hang out. If not, have a great weekend. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks.